Don't forget to like the video and subscribe. Thank you, I appreciate you.
Good afternoon, everybody. I am Dr. Professor Shivalingaya, Institute of Nephrology, Bangalore. I am the professor and senior urologist. First and foremost, I would like to thank IPCA Life Science for having a wonderful program throughout the year. At the same time, this program also, they are mainly focusing on educating the common man as well as the general practitioners and the learning urologist. Today's topic or program is mainly on bladder wellness. In that, I would like to share my experience and teaching techniques and treating techniques of OAB. Friends, as you all know, OAB, that is overactive bladder, it is a syndrome. Mainly it consists of urgency, frequency, urge incontinence and whatnot, everything. Dysuria, all lower urinary tract symptoms do occur in case of overactive bladder syndrome. This is the commonest urological problems. Day and day we are facing it. Mainly it is commonest urological disease as such say in females. However, it will be seen in males also. These OAB patients suffer a lot with lot of agony because, as I said, it is a syndrome. Only empirical treatment can comes down the symptoms or complications or problems of OAB. Exactly, it is an exclusive disease. It's unexplainable sometimes. When the patients walks in our clinic, as everybody experiences, they will come with some sort of agony, painful bladder, dysuria, frequency, urgency, urge incontinence. What are all these symptoms? To tell you in local language, to make understand of the common man, urgency means patient cannot withhold the urine for more than at least 10 to 15 minutes. He suddenly wants to visit the toilet. In sometimes, before you even visit the toilets, he will wet his undergarments, either he or she. Apart from that, they will be having unexplainable pain. They will not have a better quality of life. With these symptoms, they will curtail all social functions or gatherings. They will be denied of getting good sexual activities, whatnot. All day and day activities will be disturbed because of these OAB symptoms. To understand OAB, it is somewhat not straightforward. The common physician or family doctor should know the OAB diagnosis, basically how to diagnose this OAB in a common rural woman, that too postmenopausal mainly, sometimes menopause, during menopause also, in the fourth decade, with a proper careful history. Sometimes this OAB in females may be due to pelvic organ prolapse in the form of cystocele or uterine prolapse, or postmenopausal with the estrogen deficiency. In other words, in males, it may be BPH, it may be due to vesical calculus, it may be due to complicated urinary tract infections. These are all the named conditions where people do suffer with OAB symptoms. More than 70% of OAB symptoms will not have any physical cause at all. So, to diagnose this, we should keep on excluding the other conditions like interstitial cystitis or bladder pain syndrome or painful bladder. All those things we should exclude. Then we should come to conclusion of overactive bladder. There are other conditions like detrusor overactivity is also mimicking overactive bladder. After careful history, we need to take the fluid volume chart. We should ask the individual to maintain the water or fluid in volume chart. When you go through the volume chart, we'll come to know, is it going towards OAB disease or something else. Apart from that, rarely, this is for our younger urologist, urodynamics. Urodynamic study will not at all indicate mainly for OAB in certain conditions. In other words, the indications of urodynamic study in OAB is mainly whenever the empirical treatment fails or whenever patient requires some sort of surgical therapy, then only we should do the urodynamic study to diagnose overactive bladder apart from interstitial cystitis or detrusor overactivity or bladder painful syndrome. With history, fluid volume chart, initial examination to rule out any urinary tract infections, physical examination to rule out any organ prolapse, rectal examination to rule out in males any prostatic enlargement. When we fulfill all the basic examination to rule out the other physical cause, then if come to a probable diagnosis could be overactive bladder. Once you diagnose the overactive bladder by excluding all other conditions which I mentioned earlier, you have to start the treatment called empirical treatment. Though pharmacological therapy is there for overactive bladder patients, before starting pharmacotherapy straight away, friends, you need to educate them, and there are 3 lines of treatment. One is behavioral therapy. First of all, health education, and other thing is behavioral therapy. Then physiotherapy or some sort of regular exercise. Then at the end, if you are not clear there, or if you not give the cure, you have to go in support of pharmacotherapy, either cholinergic drugs or anticholinergic drugs, both the way. Behavioral therapy in the form of, you should make the individual to understand the cause of OAB. So you should tell them, if they are taking excessive caffeine, tell them not to addict or not to take over caffeine contents. Evening taking fluid, excessive fluid, you have to cut short the evening excessive taking fluid. You should monitor the fluid chart, and any treatable cause you should treat, urinary tract infections mainly, and any other organic prolapses and all, you should treat before starting the pharmacotherapy. Those days we used to give oxybutynin and other forms of pharmacotherapy to overcome this sort of abnormal OAB patients. Then gradually we switched on to newer molecules like sulfenacin, darifenacin, etc. So now in the era of 2020, we have a very novel molecule. It's called as mirabegron. Mirabegron is a beta agonist. It is being studied in all the randomized controls, and it has proven safe, good, and less side effects and patient tolerability, and it gives the good result nowadays with the patients of chronic OAB symptoms. However, recent past, after this giving mirabegron in the dosage of either 25 milligram or 50 milligram once in a OD, depending upon the severity of the conditions, then gradually we move on to, or the pharmaceuticals have found out, or with the studies have found out, combination therapy gives the much more wonderful result in the form of mirabegron combined with sulfenacin. Friends, as days advance, as the newer molecules invented, nowadays again there are so many studies proved beyond doubt that mirabegron 50 milligram associated with, combined with sulfenacin, it gives the wonderful result. You may have asked so many doubts in your mind, telling that this mirabegron, how long you have to give, what are all the side effects, what are the effects on other systems like cardiac systems and all those things. Friends, since 1 year we have been practicing with mirabegron alone. Sometimes we will advise the patients to take mirabegron 25 milligram. If not sufficient, we will increase to 50 milligram, and we will tell them to take minimum 3 months, so that the effective of the mirabegron will definitely will give the good relief. At the same time, here I would like to draw your attention. This is only this overactive symptoms. It's not the permanent treatment with the mirabegron, to tell you honestly. Whenever, as I said, sometimes it's idiopathic, sometimes it's stress related. Whenever patients do come across with these OAB symptoms, we need to put them, we need to assure them, and it is a chronic treatment. It is not exactly like 1 month it get over or 2 months it will get over. You cannot say that thing. With, however, certain difficult conditions, we also put them on along with the sulfenacin mirabegron. It is giving the wonderful result. Whereas it has very less cardiac effects, it's very safe, and there is only a small sort of adverse effects in the form of mild constipation or dryness of the mouth. Apart from that, we have not come across any serious or any like complicated side effects. We are having every OPD minimum 10 to 20% of newly diagnosed cases of OAB. When this molecule came in the field, in the medical field, it is giving the good result, and patients are the OAB patients having very, very good relief. Since along with that, as I said, behavioral therapy in the form of less fluid intake, less caffeine alcohol intake. At the same time, if they are more obesity or body mass index, you have to tell them to reduce their weight, and they should start the exercise, and they should prevent the all organic causes. Organic causes may additional to the OAB. So the diagnosis is very simple. You need not to do any more advanced studies or advanced tests to diagnose the OAB. Careful history and reassurance health educations and put them up the behavioral therapy as well as this pharmacotherapy, definitely patients will have a better quality of life and they can lead normal life. They will really come out from that agony. If any doubts or if any questions, I would like to answer. Thank you. How much time? Huh?
Question. You can read the
What is it?
question here. If anybody has asked, I'll try to open, sir.
Yeah.
Sir, what to do if incontinence or OAB is interfering with other activities of life?
This is the question from?
Yes, sir.
Open.
What to do if incontinence or OAB is affecting activities of life?
Yeah, these are good questions. This OAB or incontinence affecting the quality of life. As I told you earlier, whenever the pharmacotherapy fails, you need to go for the surgical options for the causes. Like you have mentioned, incontinence. There are so many other surgical modalities there to take care of the incontinence. See, the main overactive bladder is in the part of detrusor. So if it is incontinence, there is a separate pathology. So separate etiology for that. You need to overcome that incontinence in the form of either surgical intervention or tape, vaginal tape, whatsoever. Apart from that, if you have any other treatable cause, you please treat it. If there is no treatable cause, definitely it will be cured by Mera background as well as sulfonation combination. Yeah, there are Kegels exercise which is good old days we used to practice. Definitely it will help the pelvic floor muscle to be strengthened as well as all this prolapse can be controlled or stress incontinence or mixed stress incontinence definitely we can control. See, there are so much of leaflets that have been published by the IPCA company also. So you can go through the leaflets and you should do regular exercise. See, that's what comes in the behavioral therapy. When you do the regular exercise, definitely it will strengthen the pelvic floor muscles and it will avoid all your incontinence and so to a certain extent increase frequency. Definitely it is a wonderful thing. There will not be any special instructions as while taking the pharmacotherapy of OAB. Mainly, if you have any cardiac elements or if it's any cardiac patients, you should just keep go with the ECG changes if so happens. Usually it will not be having any such bad other anticholinergic drugs. It is a very safe drug, so it has very less effects. That's all, but nothing to worry about risk or side effects of Mera background or sulfonacin. Maybe certain individuals might develop some cardiac elements, TV inverse and all. So just better be follow with the ECG in case if necessary. It's a very remote possibilities. Yeah, the risk of not treating the OAB is this is the social stigma I can say. If the patients, when I intervene so many OAB patients, some few patients they want to end up in their life because some people went into depression. Some people they tell that like we cannot attend the social gathering or they cannot have the normal sexual act with their partner and they cannot have a peaceful mind. It will comes their quality of life mainly, and at the same time the working people or working women they cannot concentrate on their work. See, this is the very sensible and painful conditions. Only sufferer can understand that problem. Definitely there is a risk. Earlier days we never know like why depression, why all these things, why the people get suicide, all those things. But of course it's not that extent to tell you truly. But it has its own side effects. Even a small elements, if you keep visiting half an hour into a toilet, there are so many things can happen. Either he or she may fell down, or they might not have good sleep. The cognitive power will be lost. Everything, what not? It is a regular things. Once you miss that thing, or once you have a problem with that, I don't think like anybody has a normal quality life. Definitely, it has its own risk, either in the form even depression, or leaving the jobs, or getting divorced. Everything. No, see, certain medications or abdominal surgeries cause OAB. It is unlikely. Medications, usually antipsychotic drugs, has adverse effects rather than OAB. OAB mainly it nothing to do with mainly central nervous system. Is only it has some sort of stress related or some depressive psychosis. But I'm not sure. Like as far as my this thing comes, I don't know. Mainly, however, surgery being a neurosurgeon, I know that no surgery can cause OAB, but medications yet to prove that any medications cause OAB. So far, so we have not come across anything. Thank you very much.
Yeah.